Welcome to today's show. Welcome to Information Highway. I'm your host, Anthony Lorito-Duke, and we have a very interesting topic for today's show, in which it is the U.S. government shutdown. And I just want to clear some things up about it. So let me get right into this. A lot of people are saying that this was caused by the Democrats. That is completely false. Okay. And people are also saying that Democrats just want to give illegal immigrants Medicare, Medicaid, and the ACA. Again, that's completely false. Okay. Number one, and I said this before in prior episodes, the shutdown is on the Republicans. Why? One, the Republicans control the U.S. House of Representatives. Two, the Republicans control the U.S. Senate. Three, there's a Republican president in the White House. Now, what happened was, excuse me for 1 minute. Sorry about that. Getting back to what I was saying, for so long, the Republicans have told the Democrats that they would be coming to the table to discuss about the subsidies of the ACA. And for so long that they've been saying that to the Democrats, every time that it came time to be sitting at the table, the Republicans have backed out. Now, with that being said, come November 1st, ladies and gentlemen, come November 1st, the ACA enrollment opens. Now, if there's no agreement, if there's no bill created to deal with these subsidies before the November 1st opening date, then the subsidies for the ACA will go skyrocketing through the roof. Okay? Now, keep that in mind. And the Republicans have given the super filthy rich big, gigantic tax breaks. And the Republicans are trying to make those big, gigantic tax breaks permanent for the filthy rich. So if the Republicans can give these huge, gigantic tax breaks to the filthy rich and try to make these tax breaks permanent for the filthy rich, then the Republicans can help the people, the American people, by the way, and I'll get to that in a minute. They can help the people had to have the extensions placed on the ACA, and they can make those extensions permanent as well to help the American people to be on the ACA. Okay. Now, so if that and Speaker Johnson is saying, well, these subsidy things can be dealt with after November 1st because the subsidies end on December 31st. So what this idiot is saying, people can wait until after November 1st to deal with this. Wrong, because when no come November 1st, when the ACA enrollment opens, this is to set for their plan, the health plans for come January 2026, right? So with that all in mind, so if they do this, if they make the bill or agreement after November 1st, that's going to send healthcare coverage into a whirlwind, creating chaos like crazy. So, um, and so if there is no bill struck before November 1st, Democrats could just say, you know what? We'll just reopen up the government and the subsidy problems of the ACA will be on the Republicans. It will be the complete fault and the complete problem of the Republicans. Again, because the Republicans control the United States House of Representatives. The Republicans control the United States Senate, and of course, there's a Republican as president in the White House. So, with all that being said, it will be the complete fault and the complete problem of the Republicans. So, um, that's dealing with that. Now, let's talk about the other thing that people are saying that Democrats just want to give illegal immigrants Medicare, Medicaid, and the ACA. That is completely false. It is completely false because federal law specifically stipulates that no illegal immigrant is allowed to get Medicare, Medicaid, or to be on the ACA. Only Americans are allowed to receive Medicare, Medicaid, and to be on the ACA. Now, in many individual states, not the United States, individual states have certain programs that are state funded, not United States funded, individually state funded programs for illegal immigrants uh, to have emergency benefits only if those illegal immigrants qualify for those emergency benefits. Now, what are those emergency benefits? Let me explain that to you. Emergency benefits are if, let's say, a pregnant woman is on U.S. soil, right? And if a pregnant illegal immigrant woman is on U.S. soil and ready to give birth, that's an emergency. Because when she goes to a hospital to give birth, that's considered an emergency. If an illegal immigrant is shot, stabbed, or in a severe vehicle accident and has to have emergency surgery, again, that's an emergency. So if they qualify within those specific states for the state's emergency Medicaid benefit, then it's not only an emergency, but again, only if they qualify for it. Now, what's another emergency? Emergency is for kids to be able to eat. Let's say it's an emergency benefit for little children to be able to eat. Again, only if the illegal immigrant qualifies as well. Now, and that's again, it's that specific state funded, not United States funded. Now, how are those individual states funding it? By the state taxes, the state individual taxes, not the United States, not federal taxes, the individual state taxes. Okay. So I wanted to make everything perfectly clear. So now, what is it? Why am I bringing this up? Because my guess, I should say my assumption, and I know I shouldn't assume things. My guess or my assumption is that sometimes perhaps next week, before November 1st, I strongly believe the government will be reopened. Because, like I said, that goal date that the Democrats had was about November 1st. Now, just keep that in mind. Plus, come November 4th, come Tuesday, November 4th, that's elections in many parts of the United States. So, with all this being said, it's my gut feeling. And again, I could be wrong. I'm not perfect. I'm not a psychic. I don't have witchcraft powers. I'm assuming that the government will be reopened come perhaps sometime next week. I'm hoping beforehand, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, because like I said, come sometime next week, if there is no deal struck to deal with the subsidies of the ACA, Democrats can say, you know what? We'll just agree to reopen the government. Then the problems with the ACA are going to be strictly on the Republicans. Because, like I said, Republicans control the United States House of Representatives. The Republicans control the United States Senate, and there is a Republican as president in the White House. So the problem with the ACA subsidies are going to be strictly on the Republicans. And if Republicans keep saying, well, only Democratic states are going to feel that problem, wrong again, Einstein, because there'll be plenty of people in Republican states that are going to feel that as well. Because, like I said, the ACA are for American people and not just people in Democratic states, American people in Republican states too. So, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind all my fans out there about my website, Advocate Information Highway. The link to there is AIHNY.com. Again, that's AIHNY.com. I'll say it again. The link to my website is AIHNY.com. You guys could check out all the pages on there. And so, with that, take care, everybody. Bye.